Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of uranium. Again, it's just my financial opinion. Please don't use it as advice. We're going to dive right in, and here we go. So I got the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. The good thing that I see today on the daily candlesticks is this was a large sell-off day. It gapped lower in the morning. It came down and the buyers came up and bought it back up. This is almost a bullish piercing pattern where we are going to potentially head higher. This resistance line is holding. And if I were to go into like a 5 day, so this is a 5-minute candlestick, just to show you what I'm seeing, you can see the bounce off this support line. It's right here. So it gapped lower and then we came back up. So the downtrend, if you were to do kind of a small little downtrend line here, it broke to the upside, and that's what I'm looking for, is a bounce to go higher. And that's kind of what it means when you look at these charts. And there is a larger line up here. If we were to draw it across, that's the line that we have to break. But we bounced off support and we're coming to the upside, momentum coming to the upside. And we did break to the downside of this guy. So we were coming up, we broke to the downside, bounced off support, and now we have to break this resistance line up here. This is a 5-minute chart over 5 days. So if you zoom out, this is what it looks like that we've got to come and break to the upside here. And those are the lines I was drawing there. So we gotta bounce here to the upside to get some momentum to the upside. Uranium, this is the ETF. So looking at this guy, zooming in on here, we do have a little bit lower open with a higher close. This could be considered a bullish piercing pattern. What that means is that we usually head on up from this, but they're not huge candlesticks. We got to see what happens. So if we were to look at this from a kind of zoomed in perspective, what we're doing is we've got resistance there. And if you look at the bottom, this is on a 5-minute candlestick basis. We've got our lows that are stepping up like that. You see that right there? What I'm hoping happens is we continue on up and break this 67 mark. If we break the 67 and close above it, we are in a new uptrend. So we would be transitioning from, we've got this kind of downtrend line there. See that downtrend line? This is a 5-minute candlestick. So it's a very, so we're bouncing back and forth. We came on down, we're bouncing back and forth. We're starting to get a little bit higher lows. We got to break and close above 67 for a new uptrend. We broke the downtrend line. So I'm going to keep zooming out. And there's your big downtrend line that I probably drew in there. There's that downtrend line I drew in. See how we broke above it? We did a retest, and now we got to come back up and close above 60. I would say 68, a close above that, and we're good to go. And then we're in a new uptrend. So we're still kind of meandering sideways, but we did break through the downtrend line, and we just have to come and break up above 68 and close there. Bannerman, looking at this, yeah, we're coming back down a little bit. It's looking okay. It's just going sideways. What I have here for Goviax, we were flat today. We're kind of moving sideways, and I'm hoping that we can get some momentum and move on up at any point next week. Global Atomic, we've broken the downtrend. We've been moving sideways. This is a bullish piercing pattern. What this looks like, and I'm just zooming in for you guys so you understand what a bullish piercing looks like in a trend line pattern. So when we look at a bottom, the first step is to break the uptrend. On the pullback, we create a higher low. I'm in the wrong thing here. We create a higher low here. Here's our low here. So this is our low. We've broken the downtrend line, and now we have to break that line up there for a trend reversal into an uptrend. So if we zoom out, if we zoom out here, and let me zoom in a little bit more, we've broken the downtrend line, step one. We've had a higher low, and now we got to break this guy up here and close above 284 for a new uptrend to establish itself, for this downtrend to be done. So that's what we're waiting for. Looking at Thesis metals, let me go to the daily candlesticks here, guys. This guy's been just chopping back and forth, and we've got a little bit of a sideways day today. We do have some some support underneath it. Let's see if it holds. Pure point uranium. This is a bullish engulfing. Usually these resolve itself higher. I just put this pattern in here thinking that it would stay within the pattern. But we're at support. I would suspect that this is probably going to go higher next week. Another bullish engulfing for deep yellow. That the opening and closing prices are engulfing the ones before it. I would suspect a move to the upside eventually. Paladin Energy just chopping sideways. It's right at support. This would be a good entry point if you guys want to enter a little bit of money. We're right at support. And it looks like Uranium and a lot of the other companies are turning around. So I'm also taking that into consideration. This guy's got a bearish engulfing here, and then we've got a little up day candlestick next to it. We'll see where this thing heads. I don't really have too much information there. This is a bullish engulfing on next gen energy. So I agree with what I wrote in here. We'd have a little bit of a pullback. We got our bullish engulfing, and then I think we're going to go higher. So I agree with what I have written in here. CVVUF, we're right at support. It's just bouncing at support back and forth along the support resistance line. For base load, a hammer candlestick pattern. We came up, we sold off a little bit. We've got a small contraction day, and hopefully the buyers can come in and rocket this thing higher. It does look like it's trying to turn here. If I were to throw kind of some patterns in here, we can throw a line in there and maybe a line like that, and we kind of spilled out the bottom a little bit, and let's see if we can recover and come back higher. But it is contracting up a little bit, and hopefully we can get a move higher here. FISOF, we did do a little bounce lower and came back up. So it opened low and closed right above this guy. It is a bullish engulfing, so we could head higher. It's not a very strong one, not a very convincing one, but it does look okay. And this is three days up, 2 smaller days down days. Let's see if this has momentum to the upside for fission uranium. Zooming out with it. Zooming out with it, we are right at the support line. And hopefully we don't dive lower here. I drew this earlier. I'll take this out. We did go lower these next few days because I was looking at the bearish engulfing. We went lower. Now we got to find out what we're going to do. We're going to go sideways, or what's going to happen. Bullish engulfing here. So yeah, we went lower. This is the lower. We put in a bullish engulfing. What that means is we are going to go higher based off of this candlestick. Now, just remember, guys, it doesn't mean that the next day will be higher. It just means that this is laying in the groundwork to move on up. So we could have a small little down day next to it, and nothing's broken if we have a small down day next to it, or a few small down days. It still means that we're going to go higher. So I think this looks like it's trying to put in a bottom there. Kazatomprom, another candlestick with a little wick at the bottom. To me, it looks like there's buying pressure all down here. So it opened up here. It did close within it. We're in this resistance support zone. I should say support zone. We'll see if it gets bought back up next week. PenMF getting a little bit of selling pressure. This is a bearish pattern in here. It could bounce sideways or lower like that. I've got Boss Energy. It's right at support. So we hit the support like I thought. We'll probably come up and do a little more bouncing before heading up. This is a bullish piercing. That usually resolves itself to the upside eventually. But keep in mind, guys, we've been getting slapped in the face by the buyers and sellers. Like, we'll put in a bullish, this is a bullish engulfing here. I would say that this is a way to go higher. Then we were met with a bearish engulfing there. This is going to trend itself lower. So we came up and it trended itself lower. Then we look for a reversal candlestick. It's kind of right at support. We get a bullish engulfing, and eventually this is going to trend itself to the upside. So that's what all these patterns are And usually you connect them from one to the other, like a bottom to a top, to a bottom to a top, to a bottom, and so forth. Lotus Resources, we're just moving around down here. There's no reversal pattern yet in it. UROY, so I was from this bearish engulfing pattern there. I can grab it. Nice, had a little U there. From this bearish engulfing pattern, we went lower, and I'm trying to find to see there's good buying support underneath this at about $3. We're probably going to move sideways before moving on up, but it's improving. This is a bullish engulfing. I think we're heading higher for Encore Energy. There's buyers down here, guys. I would be a buyer down here if it were me. I like it down there. Energy Fuels, I wish this engulfed the one before it, but again, I agree with what I've written in here. I think we're going to get a little more sideways action before moving on up. URG, nice strong buying pressure. We got to break through this guy and close above it for a new uptrend to be established. So we're getting close to a new uptrend if we can break above it and close above 124, 125, somewhere in that range. UEC, bullish, engulfing. I think it's going to go higher, just like I've got drawn in here. LEU, it's not a reversal pattern. Well, this is a reversal pattern here. Yeah, I think this is going to eventually work its way higher. Yep, for Centrus Energy, LEU. Lightbridge, I think we're going to be moving sideways for a little bit before moving on up, but we're getting closer. We've got good, strong buying pressure down here for ISO Energy. I'll just draw it in here. Down here, it's good buying pressure. We've broken, got kind of a, oh man, that's a rough line there, guys. You know, we've got this kind of line going through there. We have closed above it today. We'll see if this momentum can continue to the upside. Appia Energy, APAAF, we're moving sideways, so that's good. We're up today. DNN, we've got good, strong support underneath this. We're moving sideways. Eventually, this sideways motion will go to an up movement. So I told you about the strong buying pressure yesterday in this zone here. We dipped down into it, and we got bought right back up here. So there is buyers in this zone here. Every time we hit it, we get bought. You know, we use it as a launching pad to bounce from. Forum Energy Metals, this is a bullish piercing pattern. If you guys like Forum Energy Metals, you know, I would be adding in here. I would be adding in here. That looks good. AEC, more of a sideways type action, just the opening and closing price. Not really too much to say there. Laramide, we've got good buying pressure underneath, like I've said, and we could potentially bounce off of it. Western Uranium and Vanadium Corp, I still think that there's some downside pressure here from this momentum. UEXCF, we've got good strong buying pressure right where it's at. And then Mega Uranium, we're right at support. We're bouncing off this support. We were up 7.6. That's what we're doing, is we're bouncing off that support for a very large pattern. It's squeezing up in this corner here. Hopefully we can break one way or the other. But overall, you know, I think uranium's looking a little bit better. I do think that the support lines are holding. Oil's done very well. 10-year yield's been going up. So I think eventually, depending on where the yields go, if they continue to go higher, I think it's going to support the commodity sectors. It's going to put a lot of pressure on growth stocks. There's going to be pressure to sell bonds, and that money's going to have to rotate into something. And that something is oil and uranium and energy and commodities and precious metals. So it's coming, guys. You just got to be patient. It looks like we're trying to put in bottoms. It looks like we're trying to turn things around. And I would be a buyer in some of my favorite companies. I've already purchased in them, and I'm going to be riding. I'm waiting for the turn and the move higher here at any second. That's kind of how I'm viewing this. And I'm just watching each candlestick. I'm saying, hey, look, we're basically breaking down trends. Now we got to break the old, you know, the short-term highs to get into a new uptrend in a lot of these companies. Subscribe to the channel if you guys want to know the updates. I'll let you know when we break. When we break, that's the signal for short-term traders to get in and pile in. I'm a long-term type investor. I'm basing it off of value. I'm sticking my neck out a little bit. I'm always early, guys. I'm always early. When I buy these, I'm early on the pullback. I'm not a trader. I buy it, I stick with it, I cost average in, and then usually they turn. I get pretty close to the bottom, maybe not the bottom, but I get in around it. And then I do think this sector is turning though. It's looking a lot better. Thumbs up, subscribe, and thanks for listening. This is Finding Value.